Okay, so starter maintenance and sourdough commitment. Yeah, it can be a big commitment and it can be overwhelming. And I think that's the trickiest part. So, yeah, there's kind of I'm going to suggest two paths of attack on maintaining your starter. The first path of attack requires more maintenance, more frequent maintenance, but not as high pressure maintenance. So first plan of attack, I generally say your sourdough starter can live on your counter for up to 3 days. If you're going to use it less often than that, store it in your fridge. So path one, your sourdough starter is living on your counter. Every 2 or 3 days, you're going to feed it. So you're going to discard, if you are going like me and you're keeping 180 grams in your starter jar, you're going to discard your 120 grams. So you know you have 60 in there. You're going to feed 60 grams flour, 60 grams water, let it rise, let it fall, discard, let it live on your counter with 60 grams. Mostly you always want to leave your starter with not a whole lot in it. The more starter that's in your jar, the more quickly it's going to eat itself and become acidic. So leave it live on your counter with less in it. But every 2 or 3 days, you're going to feed it 60 grams flour, 60 grams water, if there's 60 grams of starter in there. Mix it up, let it grow and come down. And then your starter's kind of always going to be good. You would only use it to make a loaf or any active sourdough recipe when it's at its peak. But it shouldn't go acidic on you very quickly if you're feeding it every 2 or 3 days. It should be fine on your counter. So that is your more higher maintenance, but slow burn. That's the slow burn process. You're kind of picking away at it. It's like if you want to have a summer body and you want to either go to the gym all the time or you want to do a crazy diet. This is the go to the gym every time path. The crazy diet path, or the never think about it and then make sourdough bread path, is leave your starter be in the fridge. You're never going to think about it. You can leave it there forever. It's never going to truly die unless it develops mold. When it develops mold, you have to get rid of it. But often people will say, oh, I just kill my starter all the time. And you didn't. It's just not super active right now. You can bring it back to life unless it's developed mold. So if your starter's in the fridge and it's fine and it's going to become super watery, it'll probably develop a liquid on top called a hooch, which you can either mix in or pour off. Again, you don't want to store your starter with a whole bunch of stuff in it. So if it's in the fridge, just leave it with 60 grams in a jar in the fridge. When you are wanting to, I'm going to want to make a loaf of sourdough next week. So I'm going to pull my starter, my dead starter, out of the fridge. I'm going to let it come to room temperature. I'm just going to get a fresh, clean jar because that jar has been in there for a long time, whether it's been a week or a month or whatever. I'm going to get a fresh, clean jar. I'm going to put in 60 grams of my old sourdough starter. I'm going to add 60 grams flour, 60 grams water, mixed up, leave it sit on the counter for 12 hours. See what happens. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe it rises a little and falls. It's probably definitely not going to double. After that 12 hours, I would discard 120 out of that. And then I would do a higher ratio feed. So I would actually maybe discard 150 out of that. So you only have 30 grams left. And then do 80 grams flour, 80 grams water. Mix it up. See what happens. That's a higher ratio feed. It should start to be rising. It should start to smell a little bit better. And then just continue to do that. Pour 30 grams into a new jar. Do 80 grams flour, 80 grams water. If you want to do more, do 100 grams flour, 100 grams water. Mix it up. Leave it sit. When you're doing a higher ratio feed, it's going to take longer to double. So a higher ratio feed is going to take longer to grow. So you want to make sure that you're giving it enough time to grow and come down. You don't want to stop it in the middle of its growth. If you're experimenting with higher ratio feeds, I would leave it at least 12 hours in the summer months or a whole day in the winter months, and then feed it again. So for this this second path of attack, you're going to have to do a lot of work for like 1 week to get it back to going, and then you can use it to make your loaves of sourdough or your active sourdough recipes. Yes, and then jar cleaning. Your jar is going to get dirty, so you should switch into a new jar somewhat frequently. If it's living on your counter, I would say every week or two, and if it's living in your fridge, probably every time that you pull it out, switch it into a clean jar. That old jar is just going to hold bad bacteria in it, or bacteria generally, which then is going to make your starter more prone to mold. A note on discard as well is that you can use discard for like a bunch of great things. So I keep a discard jar, which lives on my counter, but you could definitely have a discard jar in your fridge where you're dumping all your discard in, especially if you're doing like the path number 2 of maintenance and you're getting a bunch of discard. Yeah, keep your discard in a discard jar until you have a whole bunch of it, and you can use it to make pasta or crackers or granola or anything. Google discard recipes, and I'll have some on my site too. But yeah, you can use discard for anything. So keeping a discard jar is always a good idea too. If you ever are in a bind, reach out. I'm happy to help you.